Talk baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me is Ernie Orange, and we have a lot to talk about. It's a crazy week and a lot of baseball. Ernie, what's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, Carlos, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me on, man. We have a lot to talk to about today. It was a crazy week in baseball. I'm excited for you guys to join in and hear out everything we got to share for you guys today. So tune in and enjoy the show.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty crazy, pretty wild. We'll talk about Kenley Jansen, Carlos Correa, of course. Jorge Soler hit a bomb. We'll put the video here, and we'll talk about the Dodgers Padres. You know, a lot of people were talking about this is like the big rivalry, and they played it here in LA, and I mean they did sweep them, but it's not a big deal, like we'll talk about it in depth. We'll talk about Angels are down to their fourth, what do you call it, fourth string catcher, which is something that you don't hear a lot in baseball, but a catcher is an important position. So we'll talk a little bit on that. And Ernie has a did you know, and I like that. Like I can't wait for what that is. And PitchCom, a lot of people haven't seen what PitchCom is all about, so we'll get a little bit into it and we'll show a picture on it. But let's get started, man. I got one here, and this guy was with the Dodgers. When he did pitch with the Dodgers, he closed out a lot of games. He reached 400, dude. Can you believe that?
No, Carlos, that's definitely really impressive. What an amazing career Kenley Jansen has had so far. He's
Yeah,
demonstrated determination and perseverance. The guy has spent 17 years in the Dodgers organization and was
yeah,
part of some huge gains for the Dodgers, man. He
yeah.
was once a catcher. They told him, hey, offensively, you don't got it. So they told him, how about you try out some pitching? And he found out to have a cutter that was very unhittable.
Yeah,
There was a lot of mixed emotions with Jansen at the end with the Dodgers. He was a part of a lot of struggling, a lot of blown saves towards the end.
that's
It's
true.
kind of unfortunately that the way he went out with the Dodgers, but you start to think about it. Hey, man, he actually owns the most blown saves in the World Series with four, which is
Damn.
pretty crazy. But you put yourself in this mindset. He lost to the Astros and the Red Sox, which kind of sucks because these teams were stealing signs and they were part of this whole cheating scandal that makes you wonder, hey, was Jansen just being a victim of this cheating?
Yeah. You know what's crazy, dude? Do you think this guy's going to reach 500? And like, that's one of the questions that are we ever going to see these records being broken? Because baseball's changing. No matter what we think and what we hear, baseball's changing every year, year after year. It's getting where the ball is changing. The fences, are getting pushed back, or the time, which we kind of don't really see a big effect, right? The time clock. But it's changing. Are we going to see 500 from this guy?
Hey, Carlos, I don't know, man. 500 saves is looking really tough. Over the weekend, he started with the Friday with his 400 save,
Oh,
and the
yeah,
guy blew two saves over the weekend, man. And he went back to the old Kenley. He was starting
yeah.
off the year really hot, and he went back to him old self and blew two saves for the Red Sox this weekend, which led
What's
to
up,
them getting
Javier?
swept this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, they did get swept, dude.
They
They
did
got
get
swept.
swept this weekend by the Cardinals. Cardinals are coming back and they're making a
Damn,
push, but it
damn.
was very crazy to see Kenley, after celebrating a huge accomplishment, starting to look like him old himself. So
Yeah,
500 seems really hard, Carlos.
it is. It is hard, but look, this is one thing that I was reading on Kenley Jensen, that he hadn't thrown a 97, 98 mile per hour fastball since 2016. In 2017, he reached it about two times, and I think he reached only 96.7 miles per hour, which he's using a different, delivery, which you can't really tell, but he's kind of mixing his hips. He's using his hips a lot more, and he's using exercises to do that. Another thing he's using and he's doing, he's actually lifting his arm a little bit higher than normal. So that's kind of making his cutter cut a little bit more and throw a little bit harder. So he's reaching that 97, 98 mile per hour this year. And I mean, if he continues, he's only 35. If he continues, maybe the next 4 seasons, if he's still a closer, he might reach this 500. And I think it's one of the last things. And we were just seeing the game because you text me that Shohei Otani was throwing, and like that's another history thing. Like I was
Yeah.
waiting for that double. If you guys weren't seeing, Shohei Otani was pitching and he was gonna hit for the cycle. We were just waiting for that double, man. If you would have not
Yeah.
told me, I would have not known.
Yeah. So Shohei was so close to the cycle today. He actually got a single in the last at bat. It was a very disappointing fourth hit for the game. It was pretty sad to see the guy was ready to get that cycle. The whole stadium, Carlos, was ready to see a cycle. And this is
Yeah,
at Camden Yards, which is very crazy.
it is
But
very
let me
crazy.
ask you one thing about Kenley Jansen.
Yeah.
Do you consider him the greatest Dodger closer?
Would I consider him the greatest Dodger closer? He's up there. He's really up there because he played for a lot of teams that were above 500. He didn't play for teams that were sub 500 or 500. Like Eric Gagne, everybody considers him the greatest closer because he won a Cy Young and I believe he won an MVP with the
Yeah.
Dodgers. So because of that, that kind of makes him a little bit more ahead of Kenley Jansen. But he never got to experience the World Series like Kenley Jansen did. And then you just mentioned two big things about Kenley Jansen that we forget. He did blow four games in the World Series, and
Yeah,
these two
different
teams he
times.
blew. Yeah, but he blew those four games with teams that got accused of cheating. So it's one of those things where, like, okay, is he gonna be the greatest? And in my book, I'm gonna say he is the greatest closer because I've never seen any other closer do what he's done. Even though I got mad and pissed at everything that he did at the end, it's still he still was one of the top greatest
Right.
closers then.
And
So
we had Eric Gagne, right, Carlos? He had
yeah,
an incredible historical run with the 84 straight saves. But then
yeah,
you caught on that this guy was actually cheating, and he also got caught with steroids.
yeah,
He's probably all those records now are just kind of thrown away now. It's just you
yeah.
can't really trust the guy. He
That's true.
he was lying and cheating, so very unfortunate.
He was a teammate with
All right, we got
Laduca. He was
Chewy, right?
supplying the steroids.
Yeah. Fellow Duca. We
Yeah,
got Chewy here.
Jensen.
Thank you, Chewy, for listening
Yeah,
in. We got Jansen,
yeah,
the best officer, hands down. And I totally agree. The guy has been, if you think about it now, looking back at some back videos of Kenny Jansen, you're like, man, it's been a while since this guy was on the team,
yeah.
This guy
It's
part of the
true.
team for a very long time.
It's true because he's been with the Dodgers, he was with the Atlanta Braves, and now he's with the Boston Red Sox, and he's gonna be there for 2 years. And in those 2 years, if he gets close to those 500, I'm pretty sure. I mean, to let's say 450, 440, if he gets there this year, or 430, maybe. I don't know. I'm just going a little higher than normal, but I think some other team's gonna hire him and get those 500. But we'll see how it plays out. It's kind of
Right.
be
Because,
kind of hard for people to like see broken records
and I just want
anytime
to add
soon.
one more thing, Carlos. Ever since
Yeah,
Jansen left, the Dodgers have had a hard time finding an actual closer for their team. You
yeah,
catch Dave Roberts constantly having to go with the hot hand most of the time.
that's
He
true.
has Gratado there, Evan Phillips,
Yeah,
Ferguson, if I'm not mistaken. The guy, Dave Roberts, is constantly mixing and matching his closers. You really don't know who's the defined closer of the team. So,
that's true.
hey, man, it's hard to
Yeah,
find closers these days. It's a position that we no longer, these offensive teams could just get these runs right away and blow your saves right away. So it's really
of
tough.
course, and I agree, man. I really agree with that. Like one of the guys that I do see that's not doing so well, and we'll move that to that next segment. It's Carlos Correa out there with the Twins. He's hitting 200. He has 6 home runs, 28 hits out of the 140 at bats. If you guys don't remember, this guy was going to be signed by the Giants, a 13-year contract, 350 million, pending physical, and he failed it. The next thing that happened, the New York Mets gave him another contract for 12 years at $315 million. And he was pending physical. I think it lasted like 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks,
Right.
nothing was mentioned. And then Minnesota Twins came out and said, you know what? We'll give you 6 years for $200 million. And of course, we already know what's wrong with you. We'll take you with open arms and we'll put you as short. And if something happens, it's only 6 years. So Carlos Correa went to the Twins, and it looks like he's kind of not fitting there, dude. I don't know. I feel like he's not fitting there. Is that something that you see? It looks like he's not having fun, and he got booed. He got booed by the Twins fans, which is something
Right.
that a player hates to hear from your own home team.
That is true. The Twins fans have been voicing their frustration with Correa. It's an expensive contract. He is currently the sixth highest contract in the whole MLB with 32 million a year, and the guy's not really producing.
Nice,
You
not.
see
He's not.
Gallo having a better season than him, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, yeah.
So the Twins are kind of struggling offensively. Luckily, they are in a weaker division, and they have been getting some easier wins than most teams have. Now, if the Twins were in the AL East, they wouldn't probably be in last place right now. So it's crazy how Carlos Correa has been struggling. The angle,
Yeah,
it's a thing that they're
yeah.
loading.
Yeah. It says
We got
yeah.
Javier.
Sorry.
Can't
Sorry.
stand Corea, good player, was a certified cheater.
I think he's still bitter because of the Astros having that World Series title. A lot of people hate Carlos Correa. He's going to be here at Dodger Stadium today. I'm pretty sure the game already started, and he's going to step up. A lot of people that come to Dodger Stadium, they tend to like grow up and be like a beast here. I guess they just hate that they get booed out here, or I don't know what it is. They probably like the water, or they like that haterade. They that you like to call, like, you drink it. But I just feel like every time a player that is struggling, they come to Dodger Stadium, they start playing a lot better. And we'll see what happens to this guy. I've always said this man is a great shortstop. His attitude for me is one of those things that I can't stand. But I have seen off the field things from him where he actually, helps kids out, kids cleats in need, glove, a ball, a signed ball. He's not opposed to doing none of that stuff. So maybe behind the scenes, he's a great guy. I wouldn't mind meeting this guy. Not to bring up the cheating scandal, but just to talk about shortstop stuff. Like, that's a fun position, and he does it, and he does it very well. And nothing is for me. It's like I can't hate on a major league player, but there is some hate sometimes, right? So I'll just keep it there.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I've talked bad about certain players.
The Dodgers fans are gonna let him have it, Carlos. Dodgers fans don't hold back. They will boo till he starts, batting no hits today. But Chewy saying, I'm glad the Braves never looked to pick up this guy up for the open shortstop position. And you're right. I'm also worried about his future with his ankle now. The guy is struggling. There has been a lot of changes in the MLB this year, but the guy has not performed. And batting 207 batting average is not going to cut it, Carlos. Not with $32 million a year.
No, it's not. It's not. And well, like I said, we'll see if you have him on fantasy or you're a freaking Carlos Correa lover, whatever it is. Hopefully, you guys get to see this man start picking it up, because for all you fantasy baseball owners and you have them, it kind of sucks for you right now. But whatever. It is what it is. Let's go ahead and move on, man.
You think whoever has Carlos Correa is currently in last place for bidding so high on him?
I don't know. I would like to see that. I don't know. I know in our league, I know one of us have him, and I'm not going to say his name. He's part of this show, and he has him on his team. So I don't know if he starts him or not, but that's one of those things that I would like to ask him once we get together, all together. So we'll see. We have Jasper here. Good evening, fellas. Where's Walter? Dude, I saw that on the last show, man. He's there. If you want to talk to him, put it on here, man. We'll have him. We'll have him come on here. He plays in fantasy. So I saw that you're spanking. You beat. I'm not gonna mention his name again. I know you beat him, and now you're whooping butt over here. So that's pretty cool. The White Sox. I just saw a video from Tim Anderson. I don't know if he said I hate this place or I hate pitch clock. I don't know if you saw that video. I wanted to post it on here. I should have posted, but Tim Anderson was at first base. He said, I don't know if he said I hate this place or I hate the pitch clock, because it kind of sounds that if you look at his lips, it's kind of moving in that direction. And it kind of sucks because he is playing for a team that looks like they're not going nowhere anytime soon. And that sucks, dude. It really sucks. So, yeah, I mean, it kind of was like, you want to take this one?
All right, we got Jamal. Thank you for tuning in, man. I had someone to try to trade me Correa and Sandy Alcantara for my Marcus Semien and Julio Urias. Not feeling it. I already have Bobby Witt Jr. as my shortstop.
Oh, man.
I don't know, but you're the one that played fantasy, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, you got it on the nail, but it's just Correa's taking too long to pick it up. And I mean,
and Sandy's not having the same year this year.
Yeah, but if you have him, like, he's a proven shortstop. It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having you on there, but you're good. You have Bobby Witt Jr. as your shortstop. Just give it time. Hopefully Correa picks it up, and it'll work out, because there's a lot of people making trades right now, because you still have your Manny Machados, you have your Arenado that's picking it up, and then Carlos Correa is one of the few that are top dollar paid that are still one of those players that should be picking it up, and it is going to pick it up because he is expected to. So we'll see. Jasper, he just confirmed it's pitch clock. So it is pitch clock. I know it's you're a White Sox fan. I know you were like, oh, hopefully he didn't say I hate this place. I hope it's just I hate the pitch clock. Right? No go on the trade. Yeah.
You got Chewy, go on the trade.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for it either, James. I would stay put if I was you.
Yeah, I would too. But I think he already made the trade. Hopefully he didn't. But if he did,
no, I think someone tried to trade him. He said somebody tried to make a trade.
Yeah, no.
I think he's good. But, just keep it simple, and I think you'll get some wins with Urias and Simeon in there.
Yeah. Well, let's move on, man. Let's look at the video from this man here, and this man hit it. I don't know if it landed already, but look at this, man. This guy is known to hit some bombs, and this Jorge Soler. He hit a bomb when he was with the Braves over there at the Astros in the very first pitch, I believe, and he hit it out deep. And this one was gone for 468 feet. And I think it was, at first it was 470 feet. That's crazy. Let's look at it again, man. I'm just fascinated how like clean he got that fastball and just hit it out.
This ball was crushed, Carlos.
Yeah.
And you know what, Carlos? Jorge Soler tends to time and time again have these type of bombs. This guy crushes home runs, has a huge, beautiful swing. It's a player that we hardly hear about, though, Carlos. He's been in a lot of small market teams with the Royals, the Marlins. He got a good opportunity with the Braves to make some noise there and had that huge home run in the World Series. But, man, this guy just continuously keeps hitting home runs. And like you said earlier before the show, do you think he does this on purpose? I just think that's how he hits, man. He's just that powerful. What do you think?
Look, the reason why I said that is because you have different type of players. You have the players that like to hit home runs and like to hit them deep. Dude, this guy is like, all right, I'm going to hit the longest home run so my name could be mentioned a lot more. There's players that are like, I'm going to make a great play so I can be mentioned more. There's these little, things that players have. They're superstitious, man. Like this guy, it feels like I'm the strongest man on the baseball field. I'm going to hit it deep. I'm going to hit it long.
Yeah. This guy has a couple seasons where he has hit over 40 home runs in a season, and we really don't ever hear about him. And he's a small market team, people forget about him. Aaron Judge is just doing crazy things last year that we totally forgot about this guy. But this guy time and time again hitting some bombs. So
we
got Jasper. I'll pass on Corea.
Yeah, we got Jamal. I'll pass on Corea, dude. Good, dude. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know. There's a lot of trades you can do that I feel like it's a win because they're struggling now. You could probably trade them for a lower price, and you can get Corea and just have him there. If you have a shortstop right now that's doing okay, it's doing all right, you can have Corea on the side, and once he picks it up, then it's a W for you because you traded pretty much for nothing and you have him there. But who knows? Baseball's one of those things where you either have it that year, you don't, you pick it up the next month, you don't pick it up the next month, you keep playing this way. It's just, baseball's a tricky sport. And it's the hardest sport mentioned by a lot. A lot of people say it's the hardest sport to play. Deion Sanders came out saying that this is the hardest thing to do. And that's why he played baseball, because he's like, I played football, I can do it. I played basketball, I can do it. I played baseball, and it's the hardest thing I can do. So he stuck with baseball. So he's even said, I don't know if you guys saw the video where he said baseball's the hardest sport to play.
There's other players like that, Carlos. You got the Bo Jacksons. He also was a huge running back for the Raiders, and with the Royals, he had a great season here there, but he also struggled.
Yeah,
it's a huge, difficult sport, definitely.
Definitely, dude. It's hard to hit it. It's hard to hit the ball, especially if it's moving. Like if Kenley Jansen was throwing it at 98 mile per hour, I don't think I'll be able to hit it. But I mean, that's why they're what do you call it? There's major leaguers on there, right? Right. All right, let's move on, man.
Crazy, man.
I don't know if you guys saw the beginning of the week. This man, he's over there throwing up on the mound, and you see everybody's like, "Oh man, everybody stay away." This happened at the beginning of the week, right?
I feel bad for the guys that had to clean the field. Yeah, I feel bad for the guys that had to clean the field because of Amir Garrett.
Yeah. Do you think they clean it though, or just? No, I wouldn't clean it up. I'll leave it alone. I'll be one of them. Like, nah, I'm not gonna try to clean this up. I'll just leave it alone, dude. Why would I? Why would I clean it? Like, I mean, if it smells, then throw some water on it. You know, something,
Hey
dude. You
man,
can't just be
poor
like
Amir
out
Garrett
there,
has something bad to eat, man.
some fish or something. But
I
there's a
see
flu
Amir Garrett
going
has
on.
something bad to eat, man.
Yeah, there's a flu going on
The
right
flu,
now.
you got,
So
the Giants got hit with the diarrhea.
from eating those tacos out in Mexico.
Mexico Giants got hit with the tacos in Mexico City, man. So you know how it is. It's a struggle out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Chewy,
yeah.
ma'am, I'm having dinner.
True, but yes, he's got a good bat. Yes, yes, yes. We're talking about Morel was pretty decent last year, feeling he's like really going to get to the next level this year. Still would like the strikeout rate to be a little lower. Yeah, that definitely has to be something that has to get lower. But he'll get better. He'll get better. Let's move on to the next one, man. And I don't know if we're going a little bit too fast on the show, but we have a lot of stuff to cover. And the next thing we're gonna cover, it's the Dodger series, which is one of those things where we're kind of like, should we talk about it, not talk about it? Um, I mean, if you're a Padres fan, that's nothing. It's all you want to talk about. You want to talk about the Dodgers all the time. They're on their mind on their time. It's like you can't sleep because you have nightmares about the Dodgers. And it's like Dodger fans are not thinking about that. Like I don't know. What do you think of the series, dude? Like this past series that just happened this weekend.
Hey, Carlos, Dodgers showed pure dominance on the Padres. They continuously keep winning. They have won the past 27 of past 34 games against the Padres. Dodgers just keep dominating the Padres. Padres have no sign. They're really powerful lineup, and they just seem to not get it going. The pitching's been hurting them, not giving them the much run support neither. It's been
Yeah,
tough for the Padres lately. They've been struggling, and the fans are feeling frustrated. It's
they
a
are.
really top team. They're expecting a lot of bombs, and they're not really getting it from their top players.
That's true. That's really true. And you know what's crazy? You have players like you have Musgrove that's saying, I think as a group in here, we got to stop talking about this. We got to talk. We got to stop talking about this unbeatable force. So it's kind of where the fans, you can expect the fans to be that way. But then when the players feel that way, that they have to go to Dodger Stadium or to Petco and face the Dodgers, and you're thinking like, oh, these guys are the guys that we want to beat. Like, no, man, you have to pretty much play the full season and beat everybody up. Not just thinking about one team, not just build the team to beat the Dodgers. That's what it seems like it's happening. And with their fans, you can expect that, right? But the players, why the players are feeling this way? Like the players shouldn't feel this way at all. So I mean, Chewy, I know you're saying next topic, enough of them Padres. Yeah, it's just that's an exciting team. They spend a lot of money this offseason. They're still on the right track. I'm not saying that they're not going to make playoffs, but imagine the disappointment if this team doesn't make it to the playoffs. And they have the team. They definitely have the team, but it's just like they worry too much about the Dodgers where I feel they shouldn't worry about the Dodgers. One thing that I do mention all the time to the kids when we were out there, I always say you have to play the ball. You play baseball to play the ball. You don't play the other team because they have the same opportunity you will if you just hit the ball, put it in play, and if you make your plays, get your 3 outs and out. But these guys, I don't know, man. What do you think that's going to happen with the Padres? Do you feel like the Padres are going to, snap out of it and start playing good baseball? Ernie?
Carlos,
Oh, I think he got stuck.
the
Yeah.
team is struggling, and they have, like you say, they have the roster to make it deep. The current game's under 500, 7 games behind first
Yeah.
place, and the Dodgers are just gaining ground, and this is really bad for the Padres. I know they don't. It's too early to worry about this, and there's going to be more Dodger
Yeah.
Padres series going on later in the year. But you just need to focus on
Mm-hmm.
making the playoffs and going for the ultimate goal, which is winning the World Series for the Padres. They have never won, so with this roster, you're expecting high expectations, and the owner's not going to be happy if they don't win. So
That's true. They're not. They're
not going to
and
win.
you know what? Touching. No, I'm not saying they're not going to win, but I'm just saying like if the Padres are going to win, do they have the right coach to do it? We were talking about the coaches and how they have these big time players like the Giants back in the day. They had Jeff Kent, we had Big Eagle, he had Barry Bonds, and who was coaching them? It was what was his name? Felipe Alou, and then it was It was Dusty Baker, which
Yes.
those coaches are like one of those top coaches where they get on you and they expect a lot from you and they get on your ass and they're grimy coaches. They're not the friendliest coaches, but those are the type of coaches that you need when you have like a high egotistic team like the Padres. The Padres, there's too many egos there. And if they bring someone like Ozzy, like let's just throw out names. Tony La Russa might be one of those that can be with that team, that can set them straight and be like, hey, man, you guys need to listen to me. This is the way we're going to win, and this is the way we're going to go throughout. Because Bob Melvin, he was with the A's. Bob Melvin didn't have a lot of players out there, right? Who was the top player in the A's when he was a manager?
They've been all traded now, so I don't know.
Right? Hey, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. The Bob Melvin has never dealt with this many superstars in the lineup. So, he's probably being too lenient with them. He needs just to get their act together and start putting up some dubs in their standings.
Yeah.
So you got a question?
Yeah, Jamal, go for it.
If you're a Padres fan, which I'm not, are you getting worried about Musgrove or will he turn it around?
It's something that you got to turn around because he got a big contract. You still have Yu Darvish there. I still feel you need a veteran presence in that starting rotation. Maybe like a Verlander would have helped if they would have signed him in the offseason. Maybe a Scherzer would have helped. I don't know, someone that's gone to the World Series and won it, not just gone and won it. Because I remember Musgrove was with the Astros, but I feel like he wasn't really a big part of that team. But I feel like someone needs to step up. Someone needs to be like, hey, everybody follow me. Juan Soto is picking it up little by little,
He had a really cold start.
Yeah, he had a really cold start, but he's starting to pick it up now. Can he be that leader? Because Machado looks like he's lost. I didn't see him at all in this series, and I'm just like, it's worrisome for a Padre.
It really was. He kept hitting into double plays, and Bob Melvin was like, "What the hell? This was our time to get some runs." And Dodgers took advantage, and they got some great timely hitting and took the lead for all these past 3 games.
Yeah, Jasper says he has Musgrove. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about Musgrove, guys. I think Musgrove's still going to be fine. He's just recovering from an injury, getting his timing back. I think he'll be back to being that top tier pitcher the Padres have.
Yeah,
so it's too early.
Him. They definitely need him, though. They definitely need him.
They definitely need him for a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jasper says he'll turn it around too. So, yeah, we'll hope for your sake that he does turn it around. As a Dodger fan, maybe not, but fantasy wise, if you have him, of course, that's a good thing. Jamal, same for me in fantasy. I'm not giving up. No, of course, don't give up on him because he's a proven starter. He had a great season last year, so like, why not keep him? So let's see, Canseco. Canseco was the best player. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Machado folds under pressure when it matters most. And you know what? That's a real true. Can you hear me, Ernie? Ernie?
Yo. You keep buffering, man. You keep going off. You good out there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yo. I'll keep it going. All right. So next one. We're going to the pitch clock. And this one's kind of weird because a lot of people have been saying that they've been talking about the PitchCom and they haven't really seen what is actually they're touching when they're at home plate. And this is the picture here. When you have the picture, it's kind of a little easier. If you push 1, it might be the fastball, and if you push 2, it'd be fastball inside or outside. So we kind of saw it on MLB Network that these guys were pushing the buttons and they were, it was pretty loud on the hat. I guess they put the mic. But a lot of people, for some reason, feel like, where are they getting the signs from? And why are they not doing old school? If they did it old school, the time is going to expire on them, and they might get called a pitching violation. But this is what they have. It's either the catcher or the pitcher that has this. And then they have the speaker on their hat. Let me take the picture down, and I'll show you the picture. I guess they have the speaker right here on the right or left, wherever. And it's pretty loud for them to hear it. But I don't think the hitter can hear it if they change it, right? Did you see the video, Ernie?
Yeah, I did. So basically, this PitchCom that you see here is what the catcher has in his hand. It's like a playbook. It was the NFL quarterback. The catcher gets to push what button and pushes. It'll notify the pitcher if it's going to be inside or outside and what kind of pitch it is. Now, the pitcher will have a little microphone that's attached to his hat. And, the whole point of this is to be discreet. We were trying to avoid more sign stealing that we had in the past. And the whole point is for the hitters not to hear it. And they can't hear because it's only the pitcher that's hearing what's happening. So it's supposed to pick up the pace of the game. I'm currently enjoying the new technology, though. It has improved the pace of the game. In an hour in, you're already in the 5th, 6th inning, guys, and we're moving so much faster. There's so much more action in this game. And if you're not watching, you're missing out. Like, there's a lot of action. But my only concern is with having this. I got to see it earlier this week. There was a malfunction with the PitchCom, and they had to pause the game to change it for the pitcher. I forgot what game it was, but there was a malfunction. And my only concern as well, when we get to the playoffs, there's some stadiums that are really loud, Carlos. My concern is, will the pitcher be able to hear?
Yeah.
And there's going to be some crucial moments in a 3-2 count where you have to throw the strikeout to win the game. Are you going to be able to hear? It's a really good question.
Yeah, it is a really good question. It will be a problem. It will be a problem because you're thinking about the stadiums that you go out to, let's say the Yankees, you're talking about Philadelphia, you're talking about stadiums that are always loud, Toronto. I mean, we don't know who's going to the playoffs, right? Not yet. It's too early in the season. It's only the second month. But you're talking about stadiums that are always loud. You're talking about franchises that's been to the playoffs every single year since, this thing has been evolved. PitchCom hasn't been out for a long time. So for them to kind of change the speaker and make it a little louder, are the hitters going to be able to hear this? Are the first baseman, the first base runner, going to be able to hear all this stuff? Because don't forget that the fielders, they get to hear what pitch is coming too. That way they can position themselves to where they think that the ball's going to get hit with that pitch. So it's not just the pitcher that's hearing the signs from the catcher. It's all your infield. I didn't know that. No, it's all your infield and the outfield. So everybody gets lined up to it. Everybody knows what's going on. It's a team thing. That's why when you see, or if you haven't seen it, a pitcher say, hey, you know what? My PitchCom is not working. The shortstop usually comes in and like, hey, man, you can have mine. And then they put it on or whatever. Or the first baseman, one of them. So that's what happens. And that's what's going on with the PitchCom. So, yeah, see, you didn't know that the PitchCom was used all in the infield. It's going to be one of those things where maybe the coach is going to be calling the pitches, because I feel like in college this is happening where they calling the pitches from the dugout instead of the catcher, because they're still in development. They're still developing.
From my understanding, right now the catchers are the one making the call.
Yeah. The catchers with Greinke, he's calling his own pitches. Greinke's calling his pitches and he's changing his pitches. He's saying, no, I don't want that. I'll call the pitch this one, or you call, Salvador Perez, or they probably have a battle between both of them. Hey, I bet you I'll get him out with this pitch, because that's the type of pitcher Greinke is, So both of them have that little PitchCom. I'll put it up again. They have their number thing. They usually have them on their belt, and they go from there, and then they move forward. So definitely the game has changed. This is something different for sign so sign stealing won't happen. But, if you haven't seen it, this is what it is. And I've never seen it till now, dude. So that's pretty cool. Ernie, can you hear me? Oh, it keeps cutting off. Let's move on, man. Huh? Yeah, it keeps cutting off.
Wi-Fi issues are killing us right now.
Yeah. Let's see what's insane.
All right, we got a lot of veteran pitchers take control.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, Carlos. A lot of veteran pitchers take control of calling their pitches, and you're right, Carlos. A lot of veterans just want to call their pitches. Just recently, we had Shohei with the 4th-string catcher, and he was calling the pitches because they had never communicated before. It was his first time. This guy's name was Chris O'Kay. He just came up for the first time to the big leagues, and you got Shohei pitching to you. And good luck trying to work a PitchCom with him, And then there's also a language barrier there. Shohei knows very little English, and this guy's like, I don't know how to speak Japanese. So the PitchCom is very interesting because the PitchCom also will tell you that it could be broken down to different languages. So the pitcher could hear his language, what pitch he should pitch, which is very interesting. This device is pretty cool. It's one of the new technologies MLB is keep bringing. And, there's another thing. I wanted to go a little off topic. In Double-A ball right now in the Southern League, they are using some new baseballs, the same balls, some new baseballs and script that are causing a spin rate to go crazier, and a lot of batters are having a hard time. They're striking out, and a lot of statistics are being ruined to these players because of this new enhanced grip baseball. What are your thoughts on
Damn.
that? You think it'll come to the MLB?
So you're saying the grip? So you're saying the seams are a little bit more popped out? That way, the pitchers have better grip.
Yeah, better grip, and so they're getting better spin rate off the baseballs, like off the curveball, and so they're also throwing a lot of wild pitches because they're not used to it, and it's just a trial and error right now with the Southern League, and a lot of Double-A players are getting hurt by this new baseball coming into their league.
So it's probably just in trial.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's like it's maybe not going to happen. They're probably trying to get rid of the sticky substance, in the major leagues, because you do need to have a little bit of sticky stuff so you can control the ball. Maybe having the grip on the ball, like having with the seams up, maybe that will help. But I don't see it that way. I don't see it to where it's going to come up to the major leagues, because if you're having pitchers throw like those curveballs or those cutters, it's going to cut even more. And there's going to be a lot of wild pitches. There's going to be a lot of different things happening. A lot of hit batters, which you just said there's a lot of hitters getting injured. And I don't know, man. I know they need to change. They're trying to change the game for the better. But if this is not going to help, maybe look at other options. Maybe look at the sticky substance and say, maybe we need to look at something that's legal and that can help the pitchers. So what do you think of Cy Young? Bob Feller and Warren's fan are thinking about this thing. Man, these guys are, I don't think they'll like it, to be honest. I just feel like they don't like it, because I know they use, put their hands on their mouth, dirt, all kinds of stuff that they probably like. I heard Vaseline too, right? They'll put it under the hat. And those times there was no cameras catching you do all these things, so I don't know how different baseball was then till now. Right now, they're looking at every little movement you're doing. They're catching little second box on you. So these guys, I feel like they would be like, nah, I'm not playing
they're
baseball.
they're not gonna be for this. They're gonna be that old school way. They're not letting nothing change. They want the game to be the way it was designed for them.
Of course. Yeah, dude. All right, man. We reached here. We are already at I believe it's the 38-minute of this show. And I know you have a did you know. So what's the did you know that you have for us, man?
All right, guys. So I have a did you know? It's more of like a historical question. I want you guys to be involved. I hope you guys, maybe one of you guys know the answer.
Yeah.
I know Carlos, I told him earlier this week. So
Ernie, you're cutting off, man. And hold on. Hopefully you can wait. Let me put the PitchCom picture back up, and then maybe we can hear your question. Go for it. The did you know? Yeah, go for it.
All right, so this is my question, guys. Who has the most pinch hit home runs in the MLB? Should I give him the answer of how many home runs is it, Carlos, you think?
No, wait. No, I want to guess too, because I didn't even look it up.
Home runs in the MLB.
Who has the most pinch hit home runs in the MLB? All right, give us
so
some clues. Is he in the NL?
Okay, so he played with a lot of teams. He played with more than 10 teams. He was more known with the Athletics. He was a lefty. Okay. He was a DH, outfielder, first baseman. He was Canadian. And one of his most iconic pinch hit home runs was off the Dodgers, off Jonathan Broxton in the Game 4 2008 NLCS.
Oh, I already know who it is.
Give him the go-ahead run.
You already know who it is? Is it Matt Stairs?
Oh, man. It was too easy, Chewy. But yes, man, it's Matt Stairs. Whenever you need an emergency, just go up the stairs.
Dude, I thought you were going to say hits, and this guy, Jasper got it on right. Lenny Harris was one of the top hitters back in the day, and I was going to tell you, Dave Jansen, Lenny Harris. I know Lenny Harris should be top, right? Is he?
He was up there, yeah. I think Masters eventually caught on. He had a total of 23 home runs.
Dude.
23 pinch hit home runs.
You know what, Jasper? I was along the same thing. I was thinking like Lenny Harris. I know Lenny Harris was with the Dodgers and he had a lot of like pinch hit home runs and hits, like valuable hits. And when you said 2008 off of Jonathan Broxton, I literally just I remembered that ball hasn't landed yet, dude. That home run
You
that
had a
he hit against
flashback real
Jonathan,
quick.
dude. That ball hasn't landed. It was gone to another city, another state, man. Everybody in
Damn.
Philadelphia knew that was gone. I think it landed in California.
Was this in at Philadelphia or in LA, Carlos?
That one was in LA, and then there was one that happened out in Philadelphia, I believe. There was two home runs he hit, and it was both against Jonathan Broxton. And
You
in the
must have hated this
following,
guy.
yeah, the following year, I believe he hit it off of Kershaw, dude. And
Dude,
yeah.
he has a
So
really
this,
beautiful swing. It's not something easy to do to come as a pinch hitter, dude. It's really hard. You get put in these tough positions, middle of the game, you
yeah,
expected to hit a huge hit and you hit a home run.
yeah.
That's really
That's
epic.
amazing. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. So look, dude, I'm wearing the Yankee hat. I'm wearing the Yankee hat because there was one thing that I asked you at work, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about it here in the show. Is do you remember I asked you what was your first shirt ever? And you said you had a Jerry Rice, right? Jerry Rice jersey,
Mhm.
49ers, right? All right. So when a Yankee fan wears a shirt, they define the person by knowing baseball or not. And you know what that is?
Um, no,
Go
I'm not
ahead.
too sure, man.
All right. So the way they define that person knows baseball is by looking at their jersey. If that jersey has no name in the back, they know baseball. If that person has a name on the back, they don't know anything about baseball. And that's how
Really?
a New York Yankee fan distinguish their real fans to their fake fans. So I got a question for you. Do you think that because they do that in their all tradition, should these fans have beards?
Yes, man. Bring the beard. Why not? It's the
Because
coolest
look,
look
dude,
in baseball.
yeah, but see, the Yankee players in the Yankee system, they can't have beards or anything facial hair, right? They can have a mustache,
Right.
but they can't have a beard. So, like,
Nah, man, that's
should
not
fans
cool.
should fans should fans follow that as well? You know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Why not? There's too many of them. There's just too many Yankee fans.
So yeah, dude, I thought
I
that
don't
was
think
kind of
there's enough
interesting.
races for everyone. For every Yankee.
But see, I just thought I brought that up because there's a lot of people that don't know that the Yankees are that way. The Yankee fans are real top fans of the game. They love their players. They do the roll call out there in Yankee Stadium. You've been to Yankee Stadium. How was that when you went out there?
Man, it was crazy to be in a subway with so many Yankee fans, Carlos. I was like, get me out of the subway. but
you use you
but
use the subway out
it was
there.
a cool experience, man. I got to go to a Yankees Red Sox game. It was a lifetime experience that I wanted to do for the rest for my life. It was an epic game. I was there with my Otani jersey, and
Yeah,
surprisingly, a lot of fans they had nothing to say. They were just like, "Hey, what a great player," which is
yeah,
cool. I was coming from LA, representing
yeah, yeah. And that was, I bet that's one
my
of those
dream
things that,
LA, cool New York landmark.
yeah. And I bet it's one of those things that you can erase
Great
from
to
the
hear, man.
bucket list, of course, because
All
it's
right, am I
one of those
cutting off?
things where you're like, do I go to Yankee Stadium? Want to go to the Boston? Want to go to those, stadiums that are out in the East? You don't get to ever experience because we're out here in the West. But when you go to those big time stadiums, it must be one of those things where you're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm actually here. I see this on TV, but when you go on there and you go into that stadium, I bet you
Right.
it's a different feeling. And I bet you there's a lot of like memorabilia out there that you get to see. You get to see the Babe Ruth statue. I mean, all those little monuments that they have, right?
It's true, Carlos. There was just too many things to see. Like I did not have enough time. Like I wish I had
Yeah,
more time to go see like a second game just to get that opportunity to see the different parts of the park
yeah.
because it's just
And
so much history that the Yankees have. It's crazy.
now with the time and the pitch clock, you think you have enough time to look at the stadium during the game or before the game? Because once the game is over, they're pretty much kicking you out. So
Right.
should they open that stadium a little bit earlier so you can have, walk around the stadium, especially if you're going from another state. You should be able to go in like at least 2 hours earlier so you can see everything and then see the game, right?
Right, which I think they do. They do let fans in 2 hours early. You can see the teams have
Okay.
their batting practice, but it
Okay.
just gets crowded, dude. And just getting to the stadium in a subway is not that easy sometimes. There's a lot of people. You will have to wait a couple subways to leave out the stadium. It was very convenient, though. Don't get me wrong. Like not having to pay for parking and just having to be able to leave the stadium. But you would definitely have to wait 2, 3 subways to get out there, and you were crammed inside of a subway, man. It was just all
Dang.
Yankee hats all over in Yankee jerseys. It was the
Yeah.
coldest baseball game I had ever been to, Carlos.
How
34
cold is it?
degrees.
34. Get out
34
of here.
degrees.
That doesn't even happen here in California.
I know, man. I had 4 layers of clothes, and that was super cold.
Jasper can't stand the Yankees, but to be a Yankee standing will be an exceptional experience. And you know what? I'm taking word from Ernie because he's been to
Yeah,
Yankee
man.
Stadium. Hopefully, that's in my bucket list. I will go and see a game out there. I would like to see the Dodgers and Yankees out there for sure. But if that
Right.
doesn't happen, I would like to see just go to the
Yeah, for
stadium and
sure.
have that experience for sure. Did the Angels play when you were out there?
No, it was the Yankees Red Sox. So
Oh,
I
so you
got to
got to
see
see
one of the
that
first.
rivalry.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. There was a lot of hate. It was
Was
cool
it?
because yeah, there was a lot of hate. This some Yankee fan confused my Otani jersey for a Red Sox jersey, and I was like, bro, you got the wrong team. I got Otani, the GOAT. Like you can leave me
Yeah.
alone. And then he's
You
like,
know,
I'm sorry, man.
you
He
know,
let me.
I'm interested to see, like, or I'm interested to know how the Red Sox fans and Yankee fans, because Babe Ruth played for both of those teams, do they feel like Otani is better than Babe Ruth, or do they still feel like Babe Ruth is the top dog? Because yeah, he does have World Series championships, and that kind of does define the player sometimes, right? But
Right.
this man Otani is doing some crazy stuff, dude. So
That is true.
do you think that they would agree that he is better than Babe Ruth?
I don't think so, man. They just got that historical. They're not gonna accept anybody else but Babe Ruth, and
Yeah,
that's a good series
yeah.
for fights in the stands. Yeah, there was no fights. I think it was too early in the season. It was an April game. Fans were still kind of cold. They were not talking too much smack yet. The standings were really through. It was the third game of the season, actually, Carlos. So there was no fights yet. But
No,
I
there
can
was no
imagine in
fights.
the playoffs.
Yeah, and that would the atmosphere out there in the playoffs is one of those things that PitchCom you have to push the volume up so you can hear the pitch and everything. Yeah, dude. All right. Well, we reached the end of our show. We'll go ahead and say our piece before we log off. Ernie, what do you have to say before we log off, man? And I mean, week 7 is just in the books. We're going into week 8, and it should be an interesting one. We didn't even mention that the Dodgers are playing the Twins, but after that, they're going on an 11-game road trip, and they're playing some massive teams. The Cardinals are getting hot. Then they have the Rays, and then they have the Braves. So it's going to be tough for them. And there's other teams that are like, for some reason this season, because they're facing everybody in the American League, the National League and American League. It's going to be a tougher season for whoever is out there, right?
Yeah, man. The Dodgers are getting hot at the right time though right now. They had a rough start, but the Dodgers are getting some timely hitting now, and the young guys are showing that they have some pop with themselves. These guys could win
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
Carlos. So as a Dodgers,
yeah.
if you're a
That's
Dodgers
true.
fan, keep supporting your team. They're still gonna make a run to the playoffs. So you got to keep
Yeah.
supporting. They're showing good signs of life.
Jasper saying,
No,
nope, the babe is the babe. Yes, old timer, he is. But we got to accept the fact that Otani is really good too. And we got to support that this is our generation versus that generation. So we
hey
are
man,
lucky that we're experiencing that.
Carlos, I just saw a picture of Babe Ruth today, like a body picture with no shirt on. This guy had a dad bod, dude. He had no muscle. He just looked like your ordinary guy. And you ask yourself, how was this guy hitting home runs? And like, I
Yeah.
don't think people worked out back then, right? I'm assuming back in the 20s, 100 years
No.
ago, nobody was really working out.
So
You
it
compare him
wasn't
to
working
Shohei.
out.
Shohei's a monster. Like,
When he when he landed in the United States, he started working out with weights. But the way they used to work out is they used to do push-ups, they used to do pull-ups, they used to do sit-ups, and that's the way they would run miles, and that's the way they used to work out. When they started adding weights, that's when, that's how we see Otani being a big old beast that he is now. I didn't get to reply to this. Good show, fellas. Thanks. Thank you, Jasper, for always being here. It's a pleasure for you guys, for us, you guys being here, because this is something that we love to do, and we have everybody. Chewy, thank you. Of course, we have Jamal that's on here. We have the normal people that are always here, and we really thank you for jumping on and liking what we're talking about. Because without you, we wouldn't continue doing this. But don't forget to hit that like, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's the only way we're going to be able to keep moving this forward, because we love baseball. We like talking baseball, and this is pretty much what we love to do. Ernie, that was it. That was all you had to say before we move on.
Yeah, final thoughts. Well, just you want to also say thank you guys for all the support you guys keep going on this show. We really do appreciate it. You guys make the show worth it. And we are growing as a channel, so we do appreciate you. And if you're a first-time listener, please hit the like and subscribe, like Carlos mentioned. We want to keep growing this channel so we could get more content for you guys. So we really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
I'm gonna say, Jasper,
right,
go
Carlos,
Sox.
Yeah, that's all I got for today.
Yeah,
go
cool,
Sox.
Man. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.
All right, guys. Thank you.